Okay. Here.
Our main draw on the one low side. Table number 8. We got second round pick. Matt Crawl, Chris Funk on Fellas. On table number 7 on the B side, Scott Roberts and Thomas Moss. Fellas. On final 4. On the winner's bracket side, table number 4. Christina Koch and Brian Bryant on table 4. And on our TV table, Shaun Wilkie and Mr. Chris Bruner.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting ready to kick things off here on day 2. Yeah, we're good. And it's going to be a couple guys that are no strangers to one another. Mr. Shaun Wilkie from Haverty Grace, Maryland, a touring pro, versus an up-and-coming young gun named Chris Bruner, who is out of Midlothian, Virginia, the Diamond Billiard Room in Midlothian, one of our hot spots on the Action Pool Tour. We're here this week. At Frederick, Maryland, at the Champion Billiards. This is a semi-final match, a race to 8 on the undefeated side. It's alternate breaks. Players rack their own 3 consecutive fouls. Same player, same game has lost a game. And the players rack their own. And I'm George Hammerbacher, voice of the Action Pool Tour, advanced level instructor, Professional Billiard Instructor Association out of Baltimore, Maryland, and calling the action for you. My disclaimer is I can't see what the players see, but I'll give you the best I can and try to make this as entertaining as we can make it for y'all. Anybody listening, welcome. This is going to be a tough match. Shaun tried to spin that one in. He had to spin around the 2 ball slightly, but he jarred it. And Chris is at the table and might have to go rail first with left-hand English and sweep around. He caught about all ball, but he's got big distance here. But this boy has a stroke to die for. Well, he made a good effort, not an easy shot. We have 4 undefeated players remaining, these 2 folks, and we have Christina Kachuk on the other table versus Brian Bryant from Lynchburg, Virginia. Also an excellent player. Christina is a pro, lady pro, and she's got a silky stroke and delivery. Chris went airborne and made a illegal jump hit. Shaun's kind of tricky on this ball. His cue ball should go right into the 5 if he plays it in the side pocket. He's looking to possibly draw his cue ball, but he's on the rail. The corner pocket doesn't look like a very good option. He's got to play the side pocket. He's going to try to draw it over the side rail. Missed the ball, but didn't necessarily leave much. The sponsors for the Action Pool Tour, we're here this week at the Champion Billiard Room in near Frederick, Maryland, a host and venue of previous Action Pool Tours for a couple years, and very, very nice place with good food. Just about any type of entertainment you really like. They have a nightclub section with restaurant. It's very, very spiffy place to be sure. Always a nice venue. Shaun isn't going to like that. That's going to be safe for sure. Chris is only his two options are to slice it thinly and come back up table where his cue ball is, or send the 2 down table and try to hide him behind the 9. He shot out at the ball and sold out. Well, this is first game jitters. Both fired it wide. On the adjacent undefeated table, Christina Kachuk takes a 2-game to none lead over Brian Bryant. A masse from very nice. Other side, I'm sure. We have 4 tables in operation. We have Matt Craw from Delaware against a gentleman named Funk, who I don't know, on the 1-loss side, and we have Scott Roberts playing Thomas Haas, 17 years old, on the the other table. Plus, we have a second chance tournament underway here with 10 players. Well, without Shaun is finally going to finish this first game after multiple innings. Not their best played game by any stretch. Shaun Wilkie takes a 1-0 lead over Chris Bruner. It was, Shaun kind of chuckled about that game. It took a while for it to get recorded to his side of the string. That was a great break he hit there. That was as good as the balls could be struck right there, folks. But his 2-ball, unfortunately, is in a position of where it might be a bank, but there's no real reward for it. The safety is going to be the reward. Safety was the play.
Not first.
This 2-ball might be frozen. Looks close. Good hit from Chris. Chris has really come into his own in the last couple of years. He's won the last 2 events here on the Action Tour, and he's here up high in the standings yet again. That was a little less than what he might have wanted. I think he might be able to hit the 2. Safety is the play. Looks like Chris has a look at the ball though. Good hit. Sponsors of the Action Pool Tour include Predator Cues and Products. They make Titan in the industry. They make more than just high-tech cues and shafts. They make gloves, cloth, balls these days. They make most everything pool related. That's a sweet shot. Yeah, well, he's gonna have to make a ball here. Which he did. He hit that ball very, very cleanly. This looks like a fairly routine setup from here. He's just going to just draw it straight back up, getting his line of sight. He wants to be maybe around the second diamond. Doesn't want to go too far. That looks ideal. Nice touch there. A lot of people overhit that ball when they're on the rail. Bruner answers and ties the match up at a game apiece. Beautiful break shot from Chris, but his one ball is rolled over into a kind of a tough spot. Chris might cross bank this one and play position the two in the same. He played safe. Chris has become much more disciplined in this last year or so. He's really stepped up his game a lot, and he's really calmed down. Good deal. He's much improved. It's sort of like a 3 handicap in golf becoming a scratch golfer, which is very tough to do when you get to a certain level. The improvement curve gets real deep. The stuff you do well, you have to do better. Good hit from Wilkie. But yeah, but Chris is an outstanding jump shooter. I got him at 75% plus to make his ball. And about 50-50 to get shape. Now he's 100% to get shape. Good shot. Struck it perfectly. That, I don't know if that ball banked past the 6 or he's going to just try to play safe behind the 7. He got behind it. That's a good shot. Chris Bruner takes game number 3, and he's ahead 2-1 here. We had 41 people start here yesterday, and now we're down to the final 8. After this round, there'll be 6 with Shaun gets kicked in the side pocket there by the cue ball. Chris has ball in hand. Safety's allowed. Shaun's a good jumper too. He might be able to make the 3 ball. He sculled this. No, I didn't skull in the 6, but Chris has a interesting decision what to do here. Looks like a safe. It's perfect. didn't want to make that 6 ball, that's for sure. But no balls need to be called in 9 ball, so that was getting unluckily lucky. That's a good shot. How's the speed trooper? It's in the drink. We have other sponsors in the action tour include Q Sports International out of Las Vegas. They're the owners of the PCA pool leagues, and North American distributor Magic Rack. Ozzy Reynolds runs the big BCA tournament every summer in the Rio. 8,000-10,000 players show up of all descriptions to play, and they just concluded a couple weeks ago. It was the last week of July every year in the early August, and teams, individuals, Scotch doubles, pros, wheelchair, you name it, they got it. Oh, these two guys are, this is an ugly beginning with two guys that have tons and tons of firepower and run out abilities. Just a little center punch, come back. Perfect. Chris Bruner 3, Shaun Wilkie 1. Also, we have Simonis cloth. One of the oldest billiard supply company in cloth. We have Aramith balls. We have the diamond billiard tables and the products, including great tables of all sizes, and they also make great lighting fixtures with the solid exotic hardwoods. They make furniture like chairs and all just real top rate workmanship and craftsmanship and product. This is going to be an interesting shot. Shaun's going to have to dig deep. He needs to make his ball and start to let his stroke out and get back in this match. He might be coming almost right back at the 4 ball with this draw. He's got to play the outside half of the pocket. He can't play at the center. And if he tries to come off the rail, he might hit the 7. What a stroke. That was real hard to do what he did. Christina is making short work of Brian over there. It looks like she's ahead either 5-1. She's a terrific player. I didn't think, and I have Brian in the Calcutta, and I was with mixed feelings. I was looking at him trying to play one of these two or Christina, and it looks like he drew the tougher performer of the two. Overcut it a little, but left it tricky. He might kick behind it and try to kick and stick with a lot of right-hand English. Now he's going to come across. He might get a kiss. Oh, that's unlike Shaun. He knows that's a shot we learned the first 5 minutes playing this game. We also have Viking cues out of Madison, Wisconsin. American custom-made cues for just about 50 years. I lived in Wisconsin, played many people that played with Viking cues, and they all swore by them. Really nice cue. Thanks for their continued sponsorship. We have OzoneBilliards.com, anything for your game room. Chris Bruner takes a 4-1 lead over Wilkie. Shaun's going to take a timeout at this point in time. That was a real unlike him type scratch there off that kiss and safety. Other sponsors of the Action Pool Tour include Hasselman and Hunt Family Dentistry of Richmond, Virginia. Dr. Dave Hunt, a very, very good player, lasted to the very end of the play last night. He got eliminated one round before the money, I think, or he got 9th or 12th. I'm not certain. But he's his family dentistry, great guy, great people. Also, we have another player named Lightning Larry Flager from the Tidewater area. He's got East Coast landscaping. Larry's in his real busy season in the summertime here, and is very seldom to travel to play tournaments too much. Great guy, laugh till tears with Larry. Love him to death. I hope to see him the next time we're down the Hampton, Virginia Beach, Newport News area. Action Pool Tour is really centered there at a Q-Master, a true cathedral of our great sport. We have 4 events at Q-Master each year, and we have 2 events in this last year in Newport News at the Peninsula Billiards for bar boxes, and that This Brian looks like he's out of sorts in that match over there. The girl has left him pretty breathless over there. Okay, we're back in the action here. Also, we have Tiger Cues and products. They make tips, other billiard equipment. He gave Shaun a shot. It was a real well, but he got him up against the short near cue, Shaun. But that's Shaun very seldom seems to get this upset. He's played in just biggest stages in the world in this grade. So he's still hitting it with that, even after he's shortened it. Got to turn it into a jumpy. Get your jump cue and shoot this ball. But it's the same for everybody. That turned out lovely for him. He's got a real nice shot on the 2 with should hold position pretty well. He's struggling with the speed on these rails. These rails are very fast and springy on this table. Other tables kind of play different than this from what I'm listening from the players this weekend. Shaun is sponsored on tour by Lucchese Hybrid Cues, Lights Out Apparel. Blackheart Tips and Rayman's Pro Shop at the Diamond Billiard Room in Midlothian, Virginia. That's where Chris plays out of. Chris is sponsored by Greg's Not So Pro Shop. That would be Greg Sabins from the Virginia Beach Tidewater area. Wonderful young guy. He isn't that young, but he's a wonderful guy, a good player. And he does cue repair, and he's a real good guy, good player. The loser side's going to be a tough neighborhood with one of these two guys over there, along with probably Brian over there. Young Thomas and Scott are playing, and Funk and Matt Craw are on the other table. They don't look like any picnic to deal with either. Chris Bruner takes a 5-1 lead over Mr. Wilkie. Chris is really, like I said, calmed down. He's become downright almost stoic at the table after being mercurial when he was a lot younger and explosive and fiery. Didn't even get kissed in. That's when you're getting the rolls, you know, when you don't get kissed in there and you buy a shot on the one. That's just pool. Oh. He was on the deuce, and Shaun looks like he's not a happy camper at this juncture. And I don't blame him. There are matches like this. This guy's played a long time in good, tough company. He knows the deal. Sometimes you're up against not just opponent, but forces that we don't understand. But as the old guy, Bill Incardona, the old great player and announcer, he says this all the time when he was on the mic, and just in homage to Mr. Incardona, he says the balls don't ever stay loyal to anybody for long. A Massey shot is executed. Good shot. Yeah, well, Shaun's got a little rooting section over there on the side where he just gave that little limerick. Well, the only way is to get back in stroke is to get to the table and do what you do. A little straight now. That isn't what he wanted. He's struggling. That was a nice little running inside English shot. Yeah, well, he's played on this table on many occasions, and he knows how it plays. I might get, wow, that comes off there fast off those rails. What else could happen? He chalked up and miscued. That was just a bad stroke. He's just going to slap at it, I think. I think he's pretty... good after... That's about the only way he could have lost this game, was to miscued, and he did. Bruner 6, Shaun Wilkie 1. Just a Brian might not be in the match he's in, but I'm sure I'd like to see him wage a comeback. At least get a stroke for the loser's side. Well, Scott Roberts is returning. His man he's still on top. He's in 5th, 6th now, and his man's in trouble over there, big time. I wonder how she plays when people shoot at her. Yeah. Well, it happens. I'm sure it does. Everybody's human, you know. You're going to play good, you're going to play bad, and see, I'm sure, you know, he's a mighty good player, but in all probability, you know him. He has a job, right?
Yep.
Well,
40 to 50 hours.
he's a weekend warrior.
This shot.
Oh,
This shot.
yeah, that was tasty. Tasty. Looks like 6-1, my spotter tells me. Are you guys partners with Calcutta and all?
Not around. We are, like we played last night. Somebody else above me.
Okay. I know you're not. I wonder who he rolls back into Chris Bruner ascends the precipice. He's ahead 7 games to 1. Young Thomas finishes 7th and 8th. Very, very good tournament. He lost his first match of the day on the TV table, and then he rolled through the loser's side and got all the way into the money, which is always a admirable thing. I once, here in Frederick at another place, was in a field of 128 and lost my first match and ended up third. I was walking on my ankles by the time that was over.
28-man field in Tennessee for the Music City Open. Brian beats Shane Winner somehow. Shane comes all the way back through that amazing field of players and finishes fourth.
Yeah, eventually it catches up to you. But let's see if Shaun can at least get his stroke on track. He's out of sorts today. He looks jumpy. He looks beatable. Well, Shaun is going to win this game, and he's a long, long way from Tipperary, though. He's trailed 7 games to 2 in an alternate break. But Shaun, in a race to 9, was ahead 8 games to 1 in an alternate break, and the guy came back and beat him with a magic rack. 9-ball alternate break, magic rack. It was one of the most amazing things that my eyes have seen in 50 plus years of being around this game. That's ugly break shot. He's got to make this rail first. He could get out. Well, we're going to see some wind current activity. Well, Brian wins that game. He's now trailing, it's like 6-2 or. That ball started to go down and decided to slow up. This looks like a other than the 5-ball, this looks like a pretty routine first 4 balls. Last 4 balls, it's a 5-ball that's going to be the puzzle. He's going to probably try to catch a piece of the 9 right here and break it away from the 5, my guess. That's a strong shot, probably 2 rails when the punch. Got to beat the 9 when the kiss. There it is. That's as good as he could have hit it right there. He's got a little natural angle coming up table from the 4 to the 5. Now the 6 turns into a little bit of a puzzle. He might end up having to play the 6 in the side pocket off the 5. It came up a little short of his mark. I sort of like him coming to the 6 in the side pocket. If that's me, it's Chris's shot, it isn't mine. Let's see what he does. Draw it back. It should be good. The condemned man ate a hearty meal. Wilkie takes down is taken down by, or Shaun Wilkie taken down by Chris Bruner by the score of 8-2. Shaun goes to the 1-loss side. Guaranteed 5th, 6th. His next opponent on the 1-loss side will be Scott Roberts. We'll be back in a few minutes with more live stream action from the Action Pool Tour.